Hello, everyone. Hope you can hear me. It's a short notice stream. I just wanted to pop in. Hopefully, I can get some eyeballs here and just thank you guys for supporting Pigman. Let me see if this is working. It looks like it is on that end. Let me see if it's working here. All I got to do is because sometimes it just doesn't work. So if you're here, guys, let me know. I would really appreciate you guys let me know that you're here. I just came off a stream with Graham. He was closing out his Sunshine State, which looks fun. Let me put this here. Let me see if I can put this here. Give me 1 minute. I want to see if I can get this. Excuse me. Actually, so funny. I was doing something out of habit right now. I want to put the link to Pigman, right? But the campaign's over, so that's hilarious. I was gonna say, hey, back Pigman. I just want to say thank you, Comicsgate. Without you, I don't think Pigman could have came back in this relaunch as strong as it did. And it's my first campaign. Almost 30,400 backers on the dot, which is awesome. When the night started, I think it was 340 something, and ended up getting about almost 60 backers on the closeout, which is fantastic. $4,000 or $5,000, I think, that night alone. Pretty damn good. So yeah, guys, if you want to chime in, let me know if you're out there. Otherwise, I'll just call it a short night. But I just want to say thank you. And here's the final cover. Some people already are expressing regret that they didn't get it. And again, I tried my best to send a mass email to my email list. I think that's the culprit. I think that's the problem with my getting my emails knocked out from Google because of mass emails. I guess all the spam, who knows? I don't know. Maybe the Gmass doesn't work quite as well. And now I'm having a little problem with Stripe as well. I couldn't log into there because I had linked to the old Gmail account. So I'm like, I got to access my money. I got to transfer it. So hopefully I can get that fixed sooner than later. But yeah, guys, I just want to say thank you for backing Pigman and for your support. Couldn't do it without you. Couldn't do it without Comicsgate, and I really appreciate it. Because again, when I was on Ethan's show last March, 2024, I was asked, what do you got? I said, well, I'm working on a project right now. And would you think about getting Pigman in Comicsgate? I said, sure. I said, in crowdfunding? I said, sure. Definitely, like a remastered version, combine issue 1 and 2, do that. And eventually, that definitely took place while I was working on the old project that I'm working on. And this is it. So I intend to begin fulfilling it at the end of next month. And hey, Art. And it could be sooner than that. Probably will be, but I just want to give myself that, extra time just in case. Just in case. Okay. So you're double now. God damn it. It was the other way before, and I'm sorry about that. Let me know if you can hear me. First of all, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me now, Art? And is it an echo now? I don't know what happens. I start up my thing. It was fine for weeks now. It looks like. Let me know if you hear double now, and if not, because that would suck. It's like a robot. I guess Robosh, as someone called me. I don't know what happens. Okay. It sounds like it's okay now. Because it's very weird. And then when I go on the full screen, let's see what happens there. I don't do anything different. I don't change anything. I don't know. My streaming platform is Ecamm. I don't know. As far as I know, it's fine sometimes, and it's not fine other times. I don't know. Thanks a lot, Cigar Gangster. Congratulations, Bosh. I jumped on that last cover. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Um, I like the way it came out. I'm pretty pleased with it. Again, it tells a story here. Okay, full screen is muted. What is this? I'm gonna just stay here for now. I only like doing that when I switch, when I go to get something, Um, I'll stay here. Apologize, guys. It sucks. I know. I shouldn't have these constant little, you know, glitches, but I do. But yeah, this cover, I just wanted to give a little hint of the story with like these, the background, of course, Twin Towers, smoking. The beautiful day that day, right? It goes to darker, darker, darker blue until black and gray. And like cards placed over this, right? That's what I see sometimes. Like sometimes the panels look like cards placed. Brothers, um, the brothers, they had a bond that was shattered by this. Um, and here's them at a park, them at the mosque, them drawn together. As I mentioned, Killian's drawn a hero, a superhero, and Islam's drawn a monster. Just to give a little hint of what's coming. And here is Yvonne Warner, Frank Warner's wife. She worked at the towers. She's peering towards Frank, Pigman. And then you have the background of the TV. And Salam celebrates 9/11 as it's happening. And that's it. Killian does it as any red-blooded American would do. Punch him out of his life, out of his apartment, kick him out. And that was it. So it goes from there to basically, as Pigman put it in this one drawing I made, throw them into the fire they started. He kills them, throws them into the fire they started. And he's going for more. He's on the march here against jihad. And then, of course, in the background, you have a super jihad, his old friend Muhammad, Dr. Muhammad, he's referred to as. He's an advisor to Obama at some point. So yeah, I think it's effective. And again, the Twin Tower, the twin brother. I gotta turn this damn thing off. It's so annoying. It always asks me to connect to my phone. I'm gonna see if I could knock that out because I don't like that crap. It's trying to force me to connect my stream to my phone for some damn reason. I don't want to do that. Why? Anyway, as I was saying, the Twin Towers, the Twin Brothers, the Twin Stories, and so on. It's not by accident. In one of my original drawings, I have it says when you were in the middle of the towers looking up, you can see them, going a certain way. So I drew them that way, and I drew the brothers within the towers, the Twin Towers, the Twin Brothers, and then here the brothers on the left tower, Killian's on the right tower. He's on his knees and he's standing and moving, walking away from this. Yeah, and then you got Pigman in all his pigskin glory. After dispatching some of these savages, the guy got his tongue hanging out, busting them out. So yeah, Islam's true believers. Then you have my logo here, Oink Comics, Oink, Ink Comics, Oink. That's clearly why. And then I just want to show you this also. I drew Shanth Anjeti's character, Springball, which looks very interesting, looks fun, and very different. And I thought it was. I drew it a little while back, and I didn't finish it until recently. Shanth was such a. He really helped push Pigman to the limit. Again, it was about 50 to 60 backers away from 400, so I wasn't sure if I could do it that night. With the help of Ethan and Comicsgate Kings and Shane's channel as well, and Shanth, I was able to crack literally 400 before they cut it off. And that was cool as hell. And another thing, a pretty cool thing, John Talks, you guys may know about him. I've been, watching him for a while now. He had very short videos, very telling videos. Um, and what happened? I saw that he had a run-in with Eric July, and he was like a number of us who supported, Eric initially. Said, okay, let's see what you got, right? Assuming he meant what he said, that he's a comic book fan and he hates what's going on. He wants to produce good stories. It's not about continuity, it's about good stories. That's the problem with comics these days. And you read it and you realize, oh, this is not a good story at all. And he was being relatively polite about it. John Talks, but Eric, of course, took exception to it. Very, very defensive. And also arrogant as hell to say, you have been corrected. It's like, nah, bro. You were called out. And so damn annoying. It's, again, itching to get my stream on my phone. I did consider that. I got this phone connector on my computer, and I didn't like it because it moves with you. If I move my head, the camera moves along. I don't want that. It's like the sea. It's like doesn't really work. Anyway, so John Talks was going back and forth, and again, it was like it came off like not condescending, but it did come off like a father talking to his son. Because Eric was acting like a child, so it's like, all right. And then John, basically said, all right, I guess that's the way it is. All right, 400 is great. It is, man. Next campaign, 500 is minimum. I feel it. I think it will be more to Art. I really do. Once I fulfill it, and then get hopefully some good word of mouth. And what I was mentioning with John also is that John Talks was on with Nina Infinity. And I just said, good stream yesterday. They had a stream, right? And then John said, hey, Bosh. And he mentioned that they did back Pigman. I didn't know he backed Pigman. That's cool as hell. That night. And he shared my campaign as well, which is really, really cool. And then he had opportunity to discuss further what he was talking about with Eric when Ethan popped on the show. Good stuff, man. I still haven't finished the whole thing, but it's like a 5-hour show. And good. Very, very good. So yeah, it's always good to see people that you like coming to similar conclusions about people that you don't like, that have abused their position and lied. And, Eric denies the fact that he said, a moonwalk on the careers of comic book professionals. He did say that repeatedly. It wasn't just his internet guy on his social media guy that posted it for him. He said it himself. And he goes, he's going to love rubbing it in their faces. Rubbing what? You have a shit comic. A forgettable comic. The only thing anyone thinks about or talks about his comic is at 3.7 million. That's it. That's the pinnacle. Everything else doesn't matter. If a thing is not good, what good is it? So what? Who cares how much you made? Zack Snyder's movies made millions. Who cares? I don't. Rob Liefeld made, I don't know how many millions initially. Who cares? It's not good. The question is it good work? That's it. Is the work good? Is the story compelling? No? Okay. Who the hell cares? Then what are you talking about? I deliver on time. Okay, you deliver good shit on time? No, you deliver shit. And he actually calls his own comics shit. My shit's going out there. It's like, yeah, indeed, it is shit. Anyway, I don't want to get too far with the mark. I want to have a little theme here, I guess. But just again, thank you, man. I posted this after. I was just very, very pleased with the campaign, and with what I've learned about crowdfunding and watching the other guys, the Kings, do theirs, and figure how I can improve it next time. And because I definitely want to improve on this, and I hope to again. I just hope word of mouth gets around. I continue prove myself in this space with my work, and we'll see. I hope number two goes bigger, and then ideally number three, and then also, I'm gonna make sure that I print a number of extra copies of all the covers. This one, I think with 43 backers, I think alone on this cover alone, and I noticed also that not only did I get almost 60 backers, new ones, but a number of older backers who initially they came and just got this cover. So that was cool. Yes, that's right, Art. July also denies having disparaged crowdfunding. His only consistency is his dishonesty. That's right. It's ridiculous, and um, it's like, hey, guys, it's obvious he did lie about these things. He's not consistent with it. It's no, see, that wasn't that didn't. Yeah, it did actually. It did. You did trash crowdfunding. You did roll your eyes at it. You did say, well, crowdfunding is good, is great, but it's like, okay, okay. I don't know what the problem is. And what he's doing in essence is crowdfunding. Like his recent omnibus. Why omnibus at this early date? I don't know why, but he has omnibus, right? And he mentioned on one of his streams recently that Ethan was EFAPing, that he was waiting to find out the number that he needs to print. That's crowdfunding. When you're waiting to find out how many customers you'll have, how many backers you have in order to put in the print order. You know what I mean? And that's how you should do it. If you don't do it that way, if you're stupid, you'll make 50,000 more copies of comics that you can't sell. And you'll be stuck with this in your warehouse for no reason. I know now exactly how many I need to print. And on top of that, I'm going to have a nice amount of extra copies. This is the third, it's a seventh cover. It's the third most popular cover. It was the War Paint one, the number one cover with him with the jihadis around him. And I love the fact that I was going for different covers for each one. Different looks for all the covers. And let me see if I can find it here, actually. Give me 1 second. Because I can show them all in one shot here. I'm going to get off camera a little. I won't say a word, but give me 1 second. Yes, I believe he did, Art. I believe he did charge that much money for an omnibus for a company that doesn't have good comics. You know, doesn't have good comics. If it did, cool. You know. Now, if it was like a Valiant in the '90s, I could see that. It's like, okay, I want to do that because the stories were really, really, really good. No matter what anyone says, I think they were really good. I think they definitely gave Marvel and DC a run for the money, especially Image, a run for the money when it came to story. And I think Shooter said something along the lines of, um, we can outstory them, and he was right. He was absolutely right. So yeah, these are the 7 covers. I think they're all different from the others, which is cool. You want that. Um, 2 solo shots, well, 3 solo shots of Pigman just by himself. The War Paint cover. Um, 1 second. Where is that? Okay. The War Paint cover here. Uh, the Vow here, and then you have him with jihadists, and then also here as well. So I think they're all different. And there's a #1 cover right here. This is a second cover in terms of backers, and then this is the third. It jumped up over the 3 others. It's pretty damn good. It's my first. Now it's my first, I guess, comic book fold out, because I did a Quran, which you guys may have seen. I probably showed you before. It's a Quran that I drew. That it's also a fold out, front and back. They're connected. I didn't even think about it though, because it's like so different than this, so different than a comic book. It's actual a book that I drew. So yeah, I think they're just different enough than the other to give a little to distinguish them. And here you have all the 4 characters, and here you have all the 4 characters in addition to Ivan. You have Pigman and Super Jihad. You have Killian and Salam and Ivan there. And then, of course, you have these dead jihadists. Excuse me. Did he really try? I think he did art, because I remember someone mentioned it. I was like, oh shit, that's a lot of money, and it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. I mean, I felt bad that I spent $35 or whatever it was, even more than that, for the shipping, everything, for ISOM after I read it. And again, I didn't have a real presence on social media or anything. Or, well, social media I did. On X, I didn't, because I was banned there for a number of years. But on YouTube, I think I had a channel, but I never really used it. So I didn't have much to say about it. I was just, oh, okay, that's not good. And that's it, left it at that. I didn't have a habit of expressing myself about bad comics and so on. Art says, I need to go back and read Classic Valiant. I've mostly read from the 2010s relaunch. Yeah, I read a little from that. I think it was okay, but I really loved that Jim Shooter, Harbinger, and all the other things in there. It was Archer and Armstrong, fun, really fun. Barry Windsor-Smith, I think, was plotting it and then wrote it all, and wrote it and drew it at a certain point. Bob Wyacek inked it. That you have, what else did you have? You had Exo Man of War. You had Ditko doing something early at that point. Magnus, a robot fighter. Solar, that Barry Windsor-Smith drew, which was fantastic. He was like really peak at that point. It's like he did a few issues of X-Men here and there in the 80s, some fill-ins, Weapon X clearly, and then he did that, and he did Solar, and then he did also Arch and Armstrong. And then you also had the Frank Miller doing covers, connective covers that they had, if you remember that. What was it called? A group that they had. A something that Jim Lee drew a cover for that. Supposedly, they gave him YouTube tickets to do that cover. If I recall, someone mentioned that. I thought that was funny. They were on the move, right? And they were bringing something fresh and new and different. He brought in also some old timers in there, as I said, Don Perlin, Steve Ditko, and those. I think that was Shooter being a good Boy Scout and taking care of those who he admired. Um, because the other companies basically aged out as far as that's how they saw them as well. That's old. Where Shooter's like, no, these guys are still good. Ditko was still good. He was still drawing good stuff. And I just love those. And I have a few of the hardcovers. Let's see, I have, where are they? I have a number of the hardcovers here. Arch and Armstrong, First Impressions. I got the XO Man of War. I got the Harbinger. Let me show you quick. Since if I put me on the big screen, it's going to mute me, unfortunately. Let me just get this a little bigger here. So, yeah. This was a very interesting series, and it blew up big time, if you guys remember. Once it came out, the issues were incredibly rare. And Dave Lapham, if that's how you pronounce it, uh, very classic storytelling, very good draftsmanship, just good, just solid. It wasn't a standout in terms of, it wasn't competing with Image to be, as I mentioned just before with Aaron and Graham. The more lines on the paper, the more lines at the convention, for you to sign your autograph and do sketches. XO Man of War, that was great too. Like a barbarian with this futuristic suit, with the alien suit. Interesting premise, well done. Barry Wood Smith drew that first issue, which was great. Ditko came in for a few, at least one, and Ralph Reese was inking some stuff as well, which is doing some really interesting inking work, man. He also inked Ditko on Magnus, a robot fighter. So here we have, I believe it's Ditko penciled. The credits aren't here, but I believe this is Ditko and Ralph Reese inking. I just can't find the credits here. Interesting. But good stuff. Just really good stuff. And I have the hardcovers here. They came out a little while back. I had to get them because it's just, you want it in this really, more enduring form. I really enjoyed these stories. The stories are really well told, and to me that was the key. Even as a young reader, I was like, the stories are good here. That's the story, and that's what I was looking for. Art says Rob Liefeld told a hilarious story about Shooter a while back. He asked Jim why Valiant wasn't doing big splash pages and spreads. He responded the stories were good, but most of his artists are crazy. He said they were telling good stories, but he needed to minimize the art until the newbies were more experienced. That Shooter said that. Interesting. Shooter, I think Shane or some others were also criticizing, like Shooter was very impositional. He imposed a lot of the rules on the artists to make it look, his thing was always, we're telling stories. And then you have artists like Barry Wood Smith, which will open up a little, He will have a half of like a splash page. Half the page there is more than half of the page is there. It's just a little more exciting. Even here, this is good stuff, man. Really good. And it would have been nice if he had the time or energy for Barry Smith maybe to do a lot of the layouts. It would have gotten a little more exciting, a little more interesting. But again, I didn't care because I'm reading good stories. And while Image was at that time, everyone was going wild over Image, nobody, and I mean nobody, was talking about the stories. Nobody. That's a fact. Not the creators themselves. They were talking about the art. The fans talking about the art. And no. If the story is great, you can overlook some of the quote unquote art, like Miller. He got a little sloppier as Dark Knight Returns went. The storytelling was on point. The story was great. The layouts were great. And therefore, you can forgive some of the rough stuff. Alpha Channel. How's it going, man? Hill. How are you? Artists are crap, not crazy. Okay. Okay, let's see. Rob told a hilarious story. Most artists were crap. Most artists are crap. He responded, the stories were good, but the artists were crap. He asked Jim why Valiant wasn't doing big splash page. Now, think about that also. I mean, Rob Liefeld, a guy who some people, I don't know, admire for some reason. I don't know why. I'll never will, really. He's not a good artist. He's an asshole on social media. He's very presumptuous, and he condemns and trashes an artist like Greg Capullo. I mean, people tend to shit on Romita Jr., which he did as well, Rob Liefeld, but Greg Capullo, trashing him? Greg Capullo's an artist. Rob Liefeld isn't. I can't even say that Greg Capullo's a good artist and Rob Liefeld, no. Greg Capullo is an artist. He's a storyteller. He's really good at what he does. From day one, you could tell. Trashing him, I mean, way out of line. Or as some would say, out of pocket, right? Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So, for him to go to Shooter, I said, why aren't there splash pages? Like, splash pages? That's what you're... What? Even his splash pages suck. They weren't good. And Shooter did have some splash pages at least. And look, this was later on, This is good. It opens up a little. It's not just, 10 panels a page, which personally, I love. I love that. I'm telling a story. I'm telling a very dense story right now. And even Pigman has a lot going on. A lot of talking heads and stuff, which I don't mind at all. I'm telling a story. I'm not showing off my drawing skills. It's like I'm not at a corner, showing off my muscle and stuff. I'm not doing that. I'm giving you the best that I got in terms of the depth of my story. And my art is there to carry the story. It's not there to shine by itself. It's not there to flex. It's there to carry what? The whole point of it all, the story. And again, nobody talked about image when it came to art, to the story, excuse me. Nobody. You got artists presuming to think that, we don't need no stinking writers. That's basically image, We don't need no stinking writers. You do. You do. The work you guys were able to do prior to leaving Marvel, at least the stories were pretty good. After you left and you did Wildcats, Jim Lee, what the hell's that? I don't know. I don't remember. Cyberforce, Youngblood, Shadowhawk. Shadowhawk. Oh my God. I got the same attitude about that Ethan has in terms of he was the least of them. He didn't belong there. Jim Valentino. He hated Shadowhawk. He tried to fit in. He tried to do something that he was not comfortable with. And don't do that. Do something that you believe in. Whatever it is. Whatever it is, because I'll tell you one thing, even if you believe in it, at least you'll get some people like, you know what? There's something I can sense that he believes in this, and he did something to placate, to appease those who liked Rob Liefeld's art, and it failed because it wasn't even as impactful. I mean, Rob Liefeld, for all his whatever, he had at least a little more appeal from the fans back then than Jim Valentino would have had. And then on top of that, you got this a brute of a character, a retarded character who snaps the spines of criminals. Do their crimes warrant that if they're on the street doing something, if they're not murdering, it's like they snap their spines, cripple them forever, and then having your main character be poisoned by AIDS blood by gangsters. Yeah. Uh, Terrible. Terrible premise. Terrible art. Um, Terrible. Hamilton, how's it going, man? Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm very pleased with it. Um, and again, that night when I cracked 200, I was like, all right, cool. I cracked 300 backers, I was like, even better. And then that night, I was like, can I get to 400? I don't know. And again, I gotta thank Ethan for helping promote it on Kings, and Shane and Shanth in particular. Shanth did yeoman's work. He ate bacon after after it cracked. He was it was great. It was fun being on there. We're talking about Bruce Lee and a number of things. Shane showed this one clip from a series in Australia that had this kid be brought in the cockpit. The Muslims were in there telling him Allah Akbar. We have to land the stadium. It's crazy. Fun show. Um, Thanks, Alpha Channel. Appreciate it. Yeah, the 400 backers, very, very, very pleased. Very pleased. And again, I want more next time. Absolutely. I want to improve on that 100%. And again, I think that whatever people are on the fence about, I think when the word gets out, I think when people read it, I've always gotten this from people, whatever they thought going in, I think they got more than what they thought. Because on the surface, they could say, Pigman, what? He's just killing jihadists, that's it. There's a lot more. There's a lot more than that. I try to go as deep as I can, as wide as I can. And I'm not trying to be complex, but just it's the nature of the story. That's what it is. It's a double story. Or as I put it, twin story, twin brothers. You got the Albanian flag in there, that's prominent as well. A two-headed eagle, a twin-headed eagle, you can call it that. Um, you know, it's interesting. Okay. Um, okay. Art says I guess Liefeld noticed that Valiant was avoiding them, as in Valiant was avoiding the image artists. Apparently, the only full-time artists there were all newbies at the time, and so Jim wanted them to avoid big art panels and pay. Okay, I see, and I think he was right to do that, because he wanted them to focus on telling a story, not being splashy, not being an image, because again, no one today. I don't care how hardcore a fan you were of Image or still are. Nobody remembers great stories. I don't. I don't remember one. And then even when McFarlane bought those writers, from Moore to Sim to Morrison to Miller, those weren't even good at all. It was writers being bought and paid for, and they were like, that's a lot of money to write this comic. Okay, I'll try to do something here, but it didn't matter. It was not good at all. Um, it was Hamilton. It was fun. The post Kang stream. It was fun. Um, and again, I really appreciate it. Shane, Shanth, thank you very much, man. And Ethan, thank you. And of course, Comicsgate, you guys in the chat from backing it early. And again, those who backed the I Want It All thing, and also covers, you guys, everyone who ordered, because the 4 covers came instantly, get all the covers. You guys ended up, at least at the end, you got the 7th cover. Whoever ordered those will get the 7th cover. So I got to order even more than those. But I think this one, the War Paint one, and the first cover, I will order more of, and I want them all at my store. Sell them at a premium. I will sell them for more than I sell them here, because I think eventually people will sell them higher on eBay and who knows where else. And again, that's also the benefit of backing early. I have people even now like, oh, I didn't know. It's like, I don't know. I've been advertising it for the last few weeks at least, and I'll be closing soon. And I always intended to close at the end of July. Didn't exactly go that way. Some of the Kings were opening and closing, so I said, okay. I was asked to maybe hold off. I said, sure, no, no problem. But it kept going. I was like, you know what? I definitely gotta close it. So it took 2 or 3 weeks longer than I wanted, but I hope that's okay with you guys. I would have liked to have stuck to that initial date, but I will get it out to you guys by the end of next month. Begin to at least. I'll begin to get it out to you guys because I got a number of things to do, you know, to get to that point where I'm like, okay, I'm settled into what this is going to be, this remastered version. Um, Art said, I think the art and writing in Witchblade still holds up. The reboot. Now, let me ask you, Art, did Witchblade come after Cyberforce? I imagine it came after, where it's a little better, maybe a different writer. I don't think Silvestri wrote it. You tell me, because I think at that point I checked out. And I was, again, I love what Jim Lee was doing on X-Men. I did not like what McFarlane was doing on Amazing Spider-Man. I know that's anathema to people. Is like, what? I didn't like it. I liked those first two issues that Bob McLeod inked. I thought they were good. David Michelini wrote it. And then when McFarlane started inking and he started making all the lines and the big eyes and the weird, creepy, I was like, I'm out. I like a heroic Spider-Man. I like a Spider-Man, an alpha Spider-Man. I don't like him creepy. I don't like him looking weird, flat face, big head, huge, ridiculous eyes, and just walking around like this. Why would he do that? I don't know. Because he was thinking visually. That's it, at the expense of story. Don't like that. But I did like Jim Lee. I thought he was really good. He really came strong. Very exciting. Those early X-Men things that he did, it was excellent. It really was. With what was it? What was it? They went into space at that one story. I think Wolverine stabbed, I think Xavier, but it wasn't Xavier, and so on. That's good. That was good stuff. Valentino didn't really care for the Guardians of the Galaxy that he did at all. Very stiff, awkward, not that good. Um, Art said, I think the art and writing in Witchblade. Oh yeah, the Ruby looks suspect to me, but I haven't. Again, Art. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Witchblade came after Cyberforce a number of years. If I'm not mistaken, let me know. Because that's something that could have been maybe, and if he started with that maybe, but they were all trying to ape themselves, unfortunately. X-Men, Wildcats, young X-Force, Youngblood, um, Spider-Man, Spawn, Doctor Strange type thing, they were aping themselves in a lot of ways, and they were trying to cash in on their fame at that point, and they did cash in big time. Um, and then they got a little stupid. McFarlane was talking it up, and he was saying something along the lines of they quit at Marvel, mistreated. It's like, you guys weren't mistreated. You were making a ton of money, very popular. You took that, you made the most of it. You became millionaires on your own work because of what you did at Marvel. Not because what you did, if they just started, let's just say, if those artists just started Image, how would they have fared without having been at Marvel? So give Marvel its due at least. At least. But they were acting like they were abused. It's like, you guys weren't abused. You're lucky you were there. So yeah, that. And then then McFarlane said, I don't know if it was an interview that he did with Gary Groth or someone where he said that after we quit Marvel, we went to DC and we told them. It's like, told them what? You didn't work for them. What are you talking about? It reminded me of like every July, the stupidity of things that were coming out of their mouth at that time. Art says, I think the art and writing in which. Oh, sorry. Uh, hey, John. No apologies. Glad you're here. John, there are no deadlines in CG Bosch. No worries. I mean, there's self-imposed deadlines. I impose them on myself, definitely. But I hear you. I got so many things doing, at once. So, Hill Henry, Henry Thrun. Art said Wishblade was 3 years after, yes, and they hired a person specifically to write. Exactly, Art. And that's the point. It's like Silvestri at least understood. Yeah, I think comics are more than just splash pages and having a guy jump from a tree. Okay, this is when I love the Sylvester stuff that I read from Web of Spider-Man to Uncanny X-Men. I thought he was great. I thought he was very dynamic, very like Jim Lee could be stiff at times, even though he was looser back then. Nothing stiff about the Sylvester art on those comics. Nothing. Very loose, very animated. Good stuff, man. And then the Wolverine thing that he did with Larry Hama. I think, if I'm not mistaken, was it after? I think it was after Image. I'm not. Uh, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe he did it on Connection, then Wolverine with Dan Green inking. Good stuff, man. And Larry Hama told a kick-ass story, especially that initial one, where the guys in Madripoor, they had these drugs that gave them superpowers, but only for very, very, very limited time. I'm talking about hours. They were to die, and they knew it going in. So it's like a suicide drug that gives you powers. And they impaled themselves within Wolverine, right? They thought they could take him, and he bests them, but he took a real beating in that series. Larry Hama told a real, great story there. Um, yeah, so that makes sense to me because I don't remember Wishblade initially, and then again they brought in some writers, and even to this day I know that I guess McFarlane was still writing Spawn. I think he is maybe inking it. I don't know 100%. Um, I want to show you something also, guys. Let me see if I can pull it up here. You know what? Let me see if I can pull it up on my phone and then put it on my computer, so I don't have to turn my phone off because of that. I'll be silent for a minute, maybe. Okay, give me 1 second, because as Art said, when I'm on the camera, I think on the big one, I'm mute. So give me 1 minute. This is McFarlane, Mrs. Miller, right? Miller did this cover. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what the point is. It's Frank Miller returns to Spawn universe, reunites with Todd McFarlane for their first cover collaboration in over 3 decades. Miller penciled and inked this clearly, right? And I guess you could see it. I hope you can. Okay, you can. Great. Let me go here, and then this is that same drawing that you just saw. This is the Miller version, pencil inked by Miller, colored by who knows who. And then this is the Todd McFarlane inked version. Um, the difference is pretty stark. Miller had a black background here, or is that a colorist doing his work? I don't know. All those blood drops, I don't know what they are. And then you got McFarlane doing this. Really, really, really changing it. And to the point of the characters are even different on the cover. That's not the same guy there. That's here. Um, I don't like it either way at all. Um, I don't like it at all. Um, I'm muted now. Okay. Yeah, Apple Channel. I'm when I go big on the widescreen, some reason I'm muted. I don't know why. I'm gonna test something here. When I go camera, I can you hear me now? And then when I do mute the microphone, yeah, McFarlane did redraw it, art. It wasn't an ink job. It was what the hell is this? I'm gonna try to bring something to this. It's not a good drawing by Miller, and it still doesn't look good with McFarlane. But at least there's something there. What the hell? What happened? What the? That was weird. So Alpha, you can still hear me now? I hope you can hear me. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what this is. I don't change anything. I put on my screen. Okay. Okay. What I did was I put on the mute because if I don't put on the mute at a certain point, even though it was pretty settled in, you hear a double voice. I don't want that. I don't want that. It's terrible. You, you can call me Robosh at that point. Um, Terrible. Take care, Henry. Good night. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Alpha channel. Yes. Because what I did was, so maybe I got to keep it in mind, right? When I go full screen, I can unmute the mute button that makes me sound double on the small screen. But I can't remember that, to be honest, when I'm in the. Is there echo now? There's an echo now, Alpha channel. If there is, I will try to deal with that. If there's an echo now, let me know. I can't hear it on my phone because I didn't. I turned off my phone because I kept trying to put this stream on. Give me 1 second. I'm going to test something here. And we'll see. I'm going to yap away here if it ever shows up here. There's an echo now. Alpha channel, let me know. Sorry, guys. These glitches should be taken care of. It's a. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. So I just want to thank you guys again. Couldn't have done it without you. I couldn't have got Pigman out there in a bigger way than I have in the past, which is always what you want. And then ultimately, I hope I can interest more readers after word of mouth. Thank you, Alpha Channel. Appreciate it. Yeah, Alpha, these technical problems are illogical. I stick to my theory that your microphones are haunted by jinns. That's right, by the demons in Islam. I don't get it. I don't change anything. Okay, there was an update from my thing today. That's possible, right? It was an update, so maybe it reverts back to something. Maybe it does, because there was a moment recently where I can go big screen and small and still be heard clear with no echo. I got to look into that because maybe it reverts to some kind of normal setting that I don't have to do that. But thank you guys. And again, these you get a weekly reminder of why I get a weekly reminder why I do what I do, why I'm writing this particular story as opposed to any other. Well, besides the one that I'm doing, which I gotta say at the same time, the story that I'm doing right now, the adaptation takes place around 100 years ago. It starts around, begins about 100 years ago. But I'll tell you this: rereading that novel, I could not help but see similar things going on. Thank you, Albert Chan. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I do like how it came out. I gotta say, um, I'll put it a little bigger here, make me a little smaller to get a better look at it. And again, I didn't try to pack in the detail. I just tried to tell a little story about the story, and I give you all the characters, and also show you for the first time that Killian and Salam were friends, that they were close, that did have a bond that was shattered. And again, it wasn't just 9/11; it was building up to it, but 9/11 was the final straw. That was it. Um, and I will show flashbacks to their youth. I will show, you know, them at the mosque, picking up some things that I remember at the mosque, um, where the Arab imam, um, looking back, I can tell he resented us. We were the quote unquote white Muslims as opposed to the Arab Muslims. We're the ones that didn't take it as seriously, I guess, as they did. And there's also a racist issue, I believe, from some Muslims, the Arab Muslims. They look down on white Muslims and black Muslims and so on. But they sure as hell don't mind adding them to the numbers that they like to bludgeon us with. 2 billion something, like, not 2 billion. You go from 2.3 billion to 2 billion within. You didn't do that. That's a lie. And also, Muslims are leaving Islam as well. In this modern age, I think they can find out, besides what they see in the world, they can find out what their religion is up to and not want to be part of it. I don't know. It's always doing it, Art. Always. It's like, I guess it's necessary, but is it really? Because sometimes you do an update, it jacks everything up, which clearly did here as well. Art says, what's with all this streaming software constantly updating? Man, you lost it at StreamYard the old day. It was hilarious. That sucks, man. I guess it changed everything up. It's just that you're used to something. You don't want to get anything. You don't want to get in the way of between you and the viewer on anything. You don't want to. You want to just communicate to the viewer as best you can. And if something gets in the way of that, it sucks. It sucks. Yeah. Chris H. Are Muslims and Islam the same thing? I don't know you. I don't know which. It's a dumb question. Um, it really is, because Islam is an ideology, a religion. Muslims are human beings. Two different things. Two different things, Chris. And I think you know that. You can't be that dumb. I think you know that, and you're trolling or something. But the way I see it is this: that the Islamic threat consists of two things: the ideology, the religion, and its true believers. That's the enemy. Its true believers, meaning the ones who are most devout, who would be willing to kill in the name of Islam. That's the enemy. That's the Islamic enemy. Passive Muslims are not the Islamic enemy, even though, unfortunately, we learned, at least since October 7th, that a lot of them are passive, if not aggressive, defenders and supporters of Hamas, a terrorist group that slaughters innocents. And if they're silent about it, to me, it's as damning as them just to celebrate them on the rooftops. The lack of condemnation of Hamas, And even if you know about the religion, it's like, well, why would they condemn their own people? It's like, why? Because they don't be associated with savages. And then unfortunately, you got people who are knowledgeable about Islam, right? And they come out and say, well, there are certain strains of Islam that are different. It's like, yeah, you know, certain sects, but we're not talking about Islam, we're talking about Muslims at that point. Different sects. You have this Ahmadiyya tribe, right? The Ahmadiyya sect, and they, reject. Um, okay, Chris. Okay, I do get trolls. I get assholes on here, sometimes, and they try to dirty the waters. So if you're honestly asking, I think I explained it. Um, There's the ideology, and there were the human beings. I was a Muslim. I was a passive Muslim. I was not expected to be a devout Muslim. Lucky. I'm lucky as hell that my parents were passive. Um, there's still, I mentioned it on Shane's channel. There's still something about it where I was part of this evil. You know, is it a slight tinge of guilt there that I have to fight it? I don't know. I'm not conscious of it, but I was part of it. I was part of this evil. I was surrounded by it, and these are passive Muslims, but the Jew hatred was hardcore. The misogyny was hardcore. Um, but it didn't affect me in a sense where I didn't go out there, thinking that Hitler was right, and like some of my cousins, I didn't go out there and abusing women. I love my sister. I love my mother. They're women. Um, but it's still, you're part of it to some extent. Um, it's not good. And I think any conscientious Muslim leaves Islam. If you're a conscientious human being, if you're an honest human being, you leave Islam eventually. Because there's a hierarchy there. You're like, okay, truth and morality, I'm out. If you take those things deadly seriously, you're out. If you don't, you can stay there for the rest of your life and be a passive observer and not condemn the evil that you see being committed in Islam's name. And even so, you get people sometimes, well, you don't expect Muslims to condemn it, do you? I expect human beings to condemn evil, yes. Yeah, but they're Muslims. Like, so you are conceding the fact that Islam is evil. No, no, no. It's like, no, 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 no. So you're conceding the fact that Islam is evil and that these people should condemn that evil. Okay, fine. And of course, they don't want to take that position, but they are conceding it, that Islam is evil and that conscientious Muslims are always end up becoming ex-Muslims. Um, so yeah, Chris, no offense to you. If you're generally asking, you might be a younger person. But I do get assholes who try to dirty the waters and then, of course, say, you're condemning all Muslims. Like, that's just stupid. That's retarded talk. I have Muslim family members who I still like, who I still love. Um, it's not a subjective thing with me either. I still condemn the ideology and its true believers, but I know that these people are not, observers of this religion that they claim to be part of. I know that. I still don't like the fact that they're not explicit about their condemnation of it. They're not. I don't like that. To me, that diminishes their humanity. If they're willing to be silent in the face of this, that's not good. That's not good for anyone. Um, Thanks for being here, guys. I'm gonna check out unless you guys have any more comments or questions. I would like to go back and forth if you're here within a minute or two. If not, I'll just call it a night. It's been about an hour, which is cool because I didn't expect to stream it much longer. Um, I just want to thank you guys again. Truly, this book truly would not exist the way it is, the remastered version, without your support. It could not. No publisher is going to publish this. 2025, even in this post 9/11 world, even when we see hundreds of human beings slaughtered in the name of Islam every single week, I post the stats on X. If you follow me on X, you know every single Saturday night. This week in Islam. Um, the Jack Show is that on? I don't think I get. I don't think they send. I think they're very settled on who's there, so I don't think they invite people in general there. Um, Plus, I might be calling it night soon myself. I'm gonna get a little tired. But thanks, Alpha Channel, for mentioning it. You take care, be well, and I will see you guys soon. Yeah, you get some sleep too, Art. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Art. I love to hear what you guys think about it as well. Art, Alpha Channel, others who backed it. Those of you who did back it here, and also those of you who've read it to see the differences between the old one and okay, yeah, and Ethan, John, Shane, Cecil, and Choka. Yeah, usually that's the way it is, and that's fine. That's I think that's their show, and I don't think they even send the link in the King's chat. Thanks, Alpha Channel. You take care. You be well. Thanks, Art, and thanks for the question, Chris. I just again, if you're asking it in a sincere way, I appreciate it. But I do get assholes who come in here to dirty the waters and ask dumb questions. But yeah, so again, it's the ideology and it's true believers. That's the Islamic threat. Passive Muslims, average Muslims, of course not. I would love for them to leave Islam and to condemn what's being done in the name of their religion. But people are passive. They want to believe in the lies that they're told by those who raise them or who are around them. And the culture that lies to them also. The culture says, "Oh, Islam's fine. I know. It's just the extremists, right?" It's a lie, a vicious lie at that. But take care, guys. You be well. Until next time. Thanks again, Comicsgate. Truly. Again, I could not get this out there without your help. I can't. And when I fulfill it all, I will launch issue 2, and then go from there. That's a big one because I love cliffhangers, and I have them in this issue as well. But that issue is the ultimate cliffhanger. I don't know if I could. I guess I could think about a bigger one, but well, there is something bigger. I won't say that moving forward, but um, I love cliffhangers. I remember Brian K. Vaughan had some really good cliffhangers. That was his specialty. He was very good at that. And I remember him also. I don't know how I contacted him, but I did contact him one time. He was writing Why the Last Man, and somehow I sent him Table for One, a preview or a copy. I don't remember, but he goes, "It's an art. The art is after my own heart," something like that, right? And then of course he, I guess, realized where I was coming from. Because even if you read Table for One, you could tell, okay, I think this guy is pretty clearly on the right. He's not a leftist, and therefore you're a persona non grata in the mainstream leftist cliques. Anyway, until next time, guys, take care. Be well. Thank you.